It's a Midwest thing, y'all. They ain't got a clue. Why my cutlass blue? And I got them things on that motherfucker.
We're recording now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Midwest Mouthful. Got me, Ryan Tierney, over here.
And I'm Jeremy Phillips.
Got Dave on video coordinating today. Going to dig right in. MLB lockout. There's still some ongoing negotiations. Players mad about where the minimum salary is, service time, revenue sharing, luxury tax. There's more stuff you can look into it. It's not really moving right now. We'll dig right in over to the NBA, though. Cade Cunningham on the rise the other night. Had a Jordan line. Only Jordan ever had. Something like 34, 8, 8, and 6. Stat line 16, 6, and 5 on the year. A block and a steal. How do you feel about him, Dave, going forward?
I think if he keeps progressing the way he's going, he's going to be a real nice player. He started off real slow this season, but that could just be the talent level in Detroit. But he's starting to step it up now and becoming a nice player.
Yep. The other guy I was looking into was Anthony Edwards. He still continues to impress. And Dave, I know you made it known the other day when you said, he had a superstar to play with. He is on a little bit better trajectory than Cade Cunningham. He's only 20. He's averaging 23, 5, and 4. And he's getting only 3 more minutes, only 35. If that gets up to 38, 40, who knows what he could be. He could put up almost 30 a game. He could be that guy. He could be a next level. Jeremy's over here like, Anthony Edwards, don't know him.
Athletically, Anthony Edwards, I think, is better than Cade Cunningham athletically.
Yes.
Basketball-wise, not sure yet. Time will tell.
Yeah.
But that guy's gifted, and he's in a good situation.
Cade's got better handles, in my opinion. But I think Anthony's got a little bit of a smoother shot. I think saw some stat or something the other night. He's got like 300 three-pointers or something.
Youngest player to 300 three-pointers.
Yeah, and then he's 20. He's 20, dude. Okay? So he's got a shot. And his athleticism is crazy. I just think Cunningham's got a little bit more length. It just seems a little bit more smooth off the dribble.
Bounce for days.
Dude, crazy. That's why I said most complete guy when you're naming a stat of a 3-point like that. Then we're also talking about the bounce he has. I mean, what are you thinking? Like Vince Carter on steroids or something? I mean, I don't know. I'd love to see Edwards in a dunk contest.
It reminds me of a better version of Jason Richardson.
Yeah.
Since Richardson could shoot and jump out the gym.
Yeah, he had a little bit, and he went all the way back from Michigan State. Get into some trade rumors. They said the Kings basically ended their Simmons pursuit, so something they just said, nah, we're pulling out. Julius Randle, John Collins, they've both been made available. But who is it? Barker's boy LeVert over there at Michigan. People want 2 firsts for him before they're talking, is what they said. I don't know. That's just crazy.
Talks out of Portland, they said that CJ McCollum is going to might become available because they got to get $3 million off the books to get under the luxury tax.
Oof. They said Miles Turner or Sabonis. The Pacers want multiple firsts.
Miles Turner's probably not going to be on the trade block. His injury is going to keep him off the court until after the 10th.
So they'll hold on to him and then see. King said Barnes, Hield, Bagley, all available still. So Kings are trying to do something. They're trying to make some type of a move. They want a superstar. Guys think the Cavs should make a move or stick with the chemistry they got?
I don't think they should make a move at all.
I know. I mean, part of me wants to make maybe a small one, but
unless you're moving Kevin Love and bringing in somebody that's still decently young, I don't think you make.
Kevin Love's balling this year.
I know, but I think that's the only move that you can make. Like, you don't want to break up any of that young core that they got.
For sure. But man, I think Love being a veteran. Yeah, I think.
But I'm just saying that's the only logical.
I don't think I'd touch it. I agree with what you first say. Kick it right over to the Ncaa and some portal recruiting news. I know everybody saw the little Brian Kelly dance last night with the recruit. It's got everybody in a little bit of a frenzy on Twitter. It's hilarious. I mean, I see a lot of the Notre Dame peeps that are like mine. They're all on there making fun of him. But I mean, come on, man. The guy's trying. He's trying to do whatever he can do to be in the moment. He's basically trolling us when he's doing it. He knows you're going to talk and he's awkward and this and that. He don't care. He's just going to be himself and do his thing. Everybody knows I've not ever been really a big BK fan, but like I said, I think this LSU move was the right move for him. and where his career was going, and I think Notre Dame needed to go in other directions too. I just think they had plateaued together. What about the portal? What about Caleb Williams to Wisconsin? What do you hear about that? I
think it could be scary.
I mean, the Big Ten, yeah. They say something like his dad knows that dad of a player that's on the team that had Chris or whatever that knows Russell Wilson. I don't know. It's some little thing that's all tied in that's got Caleb. But they said it was him, Wisconsin or USC. And USC, you had to be enrolled on the 28th.
Which is...
And today's 29th. You had to be enrolled. So you had to be enrolled in the school, in the directory and stuff. On 28th, he wasn't in there. So if he's not there, you can't go. The other thing is Jackson Dart had the same thing going on. He enrolled at Ole Miss yesterday. So is USC out now? Did they lose Caleb Williams, Slavis, and Dart? Or the chance to get Caleb Williams? That's bad.
Yeah, but could USC make an exception for somebody like Caleb Williams to late enroll?
Okay, but here's the question with that. You make the late exception for one player. Now, every other player is going to want the same exception being made.
We know Jeremy, he's all about that at the workforce. He ain't playing around.
I mean, I think it's a no-go.
It is.
I mean, yeah, you didn't get enrolled in time. Sorry.
Well, let's not act like it's not going on exceptions for a bunch of things everywhere.
Exactly. It goes on everywhere.
It's like they can't just backdate his enrollment.
Yeah, or have him pick up the, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, but they're acting like it's a big deal on Twitter. Maybe we'll have to dig in.
I don't know, man. I think him going to Wisconsin, that kind of looks good on the Big Ten. It's another good quarterback in the Big Ten. I mean, it elevates Wisconsin. I watched them play last year. You watched them play.
Yeah, I think if they have a wide receiver or two to put with him, Wisconsin will be a really good team. They play pretty good defense.
Yes. Always tough to play Wisconsin.
Always can run the ball.
Yes, they can.
They've been recruiting well. Christ is good. I've always liked Paul Christ. He's just a good mind.
I think having them, a better quarterback might be a little bit of a difference for them.
Yeah. Kick it over to the coaching changes in the Ncaa. We got Mike McDonald, defensive coordinator of Michigan, to the defensive coordinator of the Ravens. Now, we knew he was kind of groomed. I don't know if this was hey, you can go here to learn a little bit, but he was probably supposed to be there a few years. But what happened with Baltimore and my boy Joey B tearing up old boy.
Well, what's his name? That comment, Martindale.
Martindale, yeah, there you go. I knew you knew it. Yeah, he pretty much got him out of town, or at least put the icing on the cake, cherry on top. Where does Michigan go now? They're in it too. Then you got to ask yourself, Notre Dame ain't made any moves there. Their longest people are filling in. Derek Mason just went to Oklahoma State. There's been a few other guys. Heacock said he'd stay at Iowa State. Notre Dame wants somebody to fit Marcus Freeman, who already has position coaches there, and wants them to run his defense or in a form of it. And I think that's prolonging things. I think I might flip out if Michigan hires a D coordinator now before we do. It's been that long, and they're able to go in there and get. There's Belk out of Houston, some hot names. Rossi at Minnesota, the D coordinator. Them are some few hot names that are still left out there. Arizona State, Jeremy, Zach Hill resigned, the offensive coordinator. 3 others were let go. It's due to some type of NCAA infractions. I don't know. I guess they were probably doing some no-nos with some kids, and we're being a little bit loud about it.
Yeah, I think so.
You can only be Laquan Treadwell and just flash money and never get away with it. But hey, we all saw this happening.
I guess that's the privilege of going to an SEC school.
Yeah, they just look the other way. They're like, what? We might be a little biased here. NFL coaching news. I know you got some of that, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah. So, we already mentioned the Baltimore hiring the former Michigan D coordinator. How about the Bears hiring Matt Eberflus as the head coach? I seen some stuff on Twitter and Facebook yesterday talking about how the Bears are going to ruin Justin Fields now because they hired a defensive-minded coach. Honestly, I don't see it that way because I don't know who the offensive coordinator is.
I was going to say, we're still a move away.
Can we really wait?
I don't know anything about Uberflus.
Me neither, really.
I don't know anything.
I know he was a good defense coordinator. He had the Colts defense always ranked up there. So that's probably Denver hiring Packers offense coordinator Nathaniel Hackett.
We all know why that is.
Yeah, they're trying to make a move. Trying to get Aaron Rodgers, it is what it is.
Then maybe Tampa, like you were saying. Tampa too, maybe making a move. What about Pittsburgh? How do you know? You just never know.
Yeah, you really never
Emerson.
know. Yeah, Minnesota went ahead and hired Wesley Adolfo-Mensah as their GM. He was formerly the player of
Glad he
operations
said
for
that.
Cleveland. But the biggest thing that I took out of this, all these, was the Giants.
Yeah.
Because they hired Joe Schoen as the GM and Brian Dable as their head coach.
Yeah.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know this, Schoen was the assistant general manager in Buffalo, and Brian Dable was the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. And now they're both in New York.
So they're going to build the similar type offense, but the thing about it is still Buffalo. They got a defense though too.
They
so
do,
They're definitely
but
going to have to. I wonder who.
I'm just wondering if
Get
Schoen
that
had a
coordinator.
hand in saying, hey, I think Dable would make a good coach because he knows he can already work well with them.
Yeah. I also saw that Wilson to the GM and then Leftwich coach. The Jags.
That's kind of what I'm hearing. Byron Leftwich did say that he didn't want Trent Baalke as the GM.
Oof.
So,
Is it Adrian Wilson? Is that the former Cardinals?
That's the former Cardinal,
Yeah.
and that's who Byron Leftwich specifically named. They said was him. So I mean,
What else did I have? The Steelers GM Colbert. He's stepping down after the draft. He's been there for some time.
I think 22 years or something like
So
that.
he's helped
Yeah.
build that franchise. Like that is that dude.
Now-
Shout out to that dude.
Yes, exactly.
Baller.
Want to mention something here with the Houston. They have 2-second interviews.
Well, you're laughing, Dave. Think about how good the Steelers have
I mean,
been
you can't
since we
argue
were
with that.
kids. Like they just are
Yeah.
consistently in it. Like you think people rebuild? Nah, they just like reload a few pieces and then seem to like have one down year and then they're right back in it again in the playoffs for 4 straight years. It's ridiculous.
So how about Houston having a second interview with Josh McCown?
Yeah.
And another one pending with Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles defensive coordinator.
What about the Raiders, Texans? Like, man, what
I
are
mean,
these people doing?
The Raiders, they've only completed one interview with about everybody, waiting on Josh McDaniels.
I think that might happen. Josh McDaniels to the Raiders might happen.
Yeah, and I also think if you look down here at the general manager, Dave Ziegler, Patriots director of player personnel.
Ooh, yeah, they're
I
going
think
to move
the
together.
Raiders could make another kind of move when hiring both, kind of like the Giants did, and
Yeah.
know they have chemistry right off the bat.
I saw that Quinn went back to Dallas. So
Yes.
McCarthy's safe for another year at least. So that might anger some.
It might.
That might make other teams maybe happy. So I don't know. What about the Vikings, Dave? What's going on
Well,
with
they
their
hired
coach?
the GM.
Yeah, who do you think? And who do you think's going to get the coach?
With them hiring the former Browns guy, I'm not going to try to say his name right now.
Adolfo-Mensah.
Notice that when he said it on here in my notes, I said Vikings question mark Dave, and then I put new GM Jeremy because I knew he'd know his name just saying it.
I'd still like them to hire Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore has a mind to be a head coach,
Yeah.
and we've already experimented with the defensive coordinator coming and being a head
I mean, it's
coach.
almost a week later, and you're still feeling that way. And if people are feeling like, how many interviews has he had? Just 1, 2?
Yeah, I think they've only interviewed one time with everybody so far.
Yeah.
So
It almost seems like they were waiting to hire a GM so they could get the GM in there into the interviews.
I believe that's true. But
Yeah.
so my question to
But
you then,
with
Dave,
Sean Payton now becoming an available head coach,
Yeah.
there's
but
going to be
is-
some teams looking at
Is he
him.
going to take another job?
I think Sean Payton stays retired for at least 1 year.
Actually, I saw a quote from him.
But
Is he
but
Hall,
anyway,
is he Hall of Fame?
He
Hold
said-
up. Cut. Yeah. If he just quit it right now and said that, is he a Hall of Fame coach?
Yeah,
You think so?
why not?
Oof.
Is Tony Dungy a Hall of Fame coach?
I think so. I think Dungy barely. I don't know. I think
Is John Gruden
I think
the Hall of
Peyton
Fame
might
coach?
be barely.
oh, let's be real. The NFL's never going to let John Gruden get in the Hall of Fame now after those leaked emails.
But I'm saying, Sean Payton has a ring.
The NFL's going to do John Gruden like MLB did Pete
sure.
Rose.
Yeah.
Sean Payton has a ring, and he's done wonders in that city. Like, you can't turn him down.
You know, he's got
I
a.
get it. It's just one enough though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How
Is
many
that
does Tony
just-
Dungy have?
I know, but the body of work and what Dungy has meant, other than football and everything else, is just
Yeah,
kind
but you got to look at that city.
I know.
What they went through.
Yeah, I get it. It just depends on how you're building your criteria. Gruden's not going to get in for reasons
Yeah.
Jeremy said.
Well,
Dungy's
that's
like
obvious,
the
but
opposite of that.
But there hasn't
so,
been anything wrong with Sean Payton for them to deny him to get in. He's got a ring.
Yeah, well,
He's got a proven good record there.
come on, man. Greg Williams and what did they call it when they were talking about paying the defensive players to hurt the opposing offensive players?
Is Greg Williams still in the NFL?
I mean, no, but that happened under Sean Payton's watch, though, too. So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's.
But he's still in the NFL. Like,
I get it, but
Yeah, it must have been more Williams than.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I get it
obvious.
because Sean Payton was suspended that year over it. Remember?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of.
I mean, come on though, man. Everybody does this.
I know.
Stuff. Like they got
I know.
with that, and that's kind of. Come on, man. Like,
But, I mean, if
Bart
you wanna-
Scott just basically said the Ravens got a code red on Burrow now, and I'm like, come on. You just basically
Right.
yelled out their.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
their little bounty system they got. Like everybody's got it, man. Whether it's hush hush or, or it's a little louder in other locker rooms than others. Like.
Your quote on Sean Payton, he said that no team reached out personally, but they said 2 have reached out via back doors. He said he's not looking at that path right now. He's not finished coaching, but he was excited to get 2 or 3 calls from people on TV.
so then here's the real question. Saints are $73 million over the salary cap for next year. And
Is that why he left?
and he has no Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that
let's
why
be
he left?
real. Did he just bow out now and say, I don't want to tarnish my record?
Couldn't blame him if he did, because that's a bad
Rumors
situation
were
there right
a few
now. I
months
don't
ago that
see
they were
this.
going to ask him to step down anyways. So, I mean, this might have been a mutual thing and just him saying he'd step down. Who knows?
Just it's time probably for the change.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm thinking maybe New Orleans is looking for a rebuild at the moment.
Yeah, you about got to when you're 73. You're gonna have to cut everybody. There's gonna be some people available.
Oh,
You've got so
dude.
many pieces you could trade to get under your cap. You got Thomas that wants out.
Yeah.
Kamara wants out.
Yeah, Lattimore's who Jeremy always wanted.
Man.
I wish the Bengals would make a play for that. Bro.
Oh,
That'd
dude, I'd be
sweet.
so shitty if the Bengals got him, bro. You guys have him and Von Bell? Yeah, dude, I'd be
Yeah.
shitty.
Well, we got a bunch of Buckeyes.
I know you
Hubbard,
do. That's why you guys are
Burrow
finally
was still
winning.
one at one point. I mean, I think we got a few more. I just can't.
Yeah, you
name
guys got
all.
about
Isaiah
5 of
Prince.
them.
Yeah,
There
we
you
got some
go.
dudes on there. What about the draft profiles today, guys? We got 3 of them on here. We can start with a little bit of Malik Willis. A lot of people should know about him, and if they don't, he's a 6'1", 215-pound guy. Had a little bit of a roller coaster of a season after an elite year. I think he's one of the most dangerous players in the class as far as just from an athlete standpoint, if we're looking at all the quarterbacks. I look at him kind of like a Fields, a Lance to Love. You know, I'm talking about Jordan Love. Like, where is he gonna? But he's that type of a playmaker. Like, where is he gonna fall in the draft because of that? I still think he's like a late first to mid first, could drop to early second. I don't think he falls any more than that. But man, nice zip on the ball, throws it well on the run. Needs to learn how to take what a defense gives you. He needs to stay in his pocket and trust it a little bit more. But we're talking about just pure playmaking, and if somebody can hone them skills, the right situation, I don't think he's a year 1 starter. I think he's more of a Trey Lance, like I said, Love, those type of situations. And Fields needed that too. He just wasn't able because they had to throw him to the wolves because
Right.
the Dalton injury. But he can extend plays, man.
My
You
biggest
You
thing
know how I
with
feel
him,
about that.
My biggest thing with him is that he needs to learn how to change his pace on his throws. He tries to put them on a zip when he shouldn't have to put them on a zip. He also has an eye for a big play, which also helps and hurts him. He tries to fit the ball in where he shouldn't.
Yeah, bites off a little bit, and I think that's where I put on there. Learn what to take a defense get, because somebody's just biting off. He's just biting off more than he should. It's swag, it's cool, but it ain't gonna work in the NFL. It ain't gonna work.
No,
in the
not
NFL.
at all. They said that one of the knocks on him was he doesn't know how to scan the field, and when he doesn't scan the field, that's when he takes off with his feet. I have him listed as the true dual threat quarterback of this class. I mean, and let's also not forget he did start his college career at Auburn, but he had to sit behind Stidham and Bo Nix.
But you'd also like to see him with real receivers. They said that receivers did drop a lot of balls over there at Liberty.
They did, but of course
Ones that should have been caught. But they also said he likes to throw outside of their catch radius, which makes that more ball security issues.
yeah, they did say he likes to thread the ball a lot.
Long passing, rush, and scramble. That's what it says in percentages here. These guys have a second round mid draft grade on there, and that's why I said I tend to think that somebody might overreach for him because the athleticism. But yeah, he's probably a second rounder. He fits in that right in that Kaepernick type area, Dalton, as I've said over the last few episodes too. That's what I always like to call that one, just like that early 30s, Colt McCoy type.
Well, let's be real. The Ravens are going to stun everybody and trade back into like the 31st pick and pick him up in the first round to replace Lamar Jackson.
They'd have him, Huntley in that. Yeah, they'd be stacked. I can't. That's not going to happen. But yeah, it says here 4.42 on the 40. We'll see if that.
Man.
I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.
You know that, and he's almost 23 years old. This isn't a young man anymore. This ain't no 21-year-old coming to you. You know, Lamar was a little bit different. He came to you at like 21. He was real young for being able to get to the league. So I think that changes a little bit, a few more years. I mean, Joey B's older. You know, Pickett's older. You know, like we talked about last week. You know, it's sometimes it helps, sometimes it hurts in terms of, you know. I don't know. I think it helps being older because I think if you're looking at Tom Brady and guys now, you can play to your 40.
Right.
So I think 25, if you even get to the league at 24 years old, 23 years old, I mean, dude, that's 17 years in there. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that, buddy. You go right over to Desmond Riddler. That's who I had second. He's a big 6'4", 220 kid. Great size, you know. 4-year guy, so like I said again, another guy that's been around, you know, been in the program for a few years. He's a great, not a great runner in my opinion. He isn't very deceptive as a runner. Like
he can extend plays with his legs, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's a deceptive. What do I say? No, he's a deceptive athlete, is what I put. So you know, he can wiggle, he can get it. He's got a little bit. I don't really know who to even compare him to. I forget when I put down on here. Like, I think it was not good. I've never been a Desmond Riddler guy. I think I had him compared to Deshaun Kaiser at Notre Dame.
That's a messed
well,
up.
but, you know, Kaiser kind of got ruined, and he didn't have his mechanics well, and there was just things missing that said to me, big-time NFL guy. Now, I think Riddler's a little bit better than Kaiser and farther ahead. I don't think it's much. I would never send a second-rounder on a Riddler.
No,
I think it would be third, fourth, fifth round, and I think somebody's going to reach because you know how it is in quarterbacks every year. I don't know. We'll see if teams are smart enough to stay away from that, but I personally don't think they are. I mean, he did extend plays well. He still was cool and calm. He's a winner, you know. He thrives when things break down, you know. He's another one of those type of guys. But he needs to work on his mechanics, I'm telling you, and that's where I got the whole Deshaun Kaiser thing, because the arm strength, you can have that. You can be able to break down something but not be a great runner, which Kaiser was.
Right.
But it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, because that's what they said. They said, you know, he's got good arm strength, can drive the intermediate throws, and attacks downfield with the deep ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
you know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
A less, like a Johnny Manziel type player.
You think so? He's a
maybe
big
not
dude.
as
Manziel's
mobile,
little.
maybe not as mobile.
Like him and Baker is kind of how I feel.
But,
like they can dip, but not dip far or something. I don't know.
Like he can be overly aggressive when you shouldn't be overly aggressive.
What do they have on here? They had a lot of medium and long passing on this.
Yes, but his decision making does need work.
They had him higher in the second on this one. They had him rated higher, and see, that's I said. I don't know. I'd probably want to go with Malik's pure athleticism over Riddler, in my opinion, but we'll see. I'm going to look up more about him and dig into a little more film and stuff. I didn't have enough time as I liked, but from what I've looked, I've already knew about Ritter when he played Notre Dame this year. He was phenomenal. He's a winner, like I said. He can do some things for you, but he's going to have to learn to be better on intermediate and clean up his footwork if he wants to be anything in the NFL. That as far as being able to read through his progressions and stuff too. He's a second round guy, like I said, possibly in this draft. I think he's a third and fourth in most drafts.
Yeah.
I think it's because there's not a lot of talent at quarterback or a bunch of question marks behind all of them that somebody might take a chance on them. But, you know, sometimes guys like these will fall. We'll see how that goes for him. The other one Jeremy wanted us to add from last week to finish off with the quarterbacks this year was Carson Strong. He's got question marks on him, man.
Oh, most definitely.
Big frame. They said great size, 6'4", 220. It's mostly from the gun. He's not a dual threat guy. He is the opposite.
Yeah, he's got actually negative rushing yards his whole college career.
Yeah,
So
pass first, good pocket timer. You guys know how ate up I am. We watch football, and Ryan's sitting there, gets hyped, and Ryan's over here going 1,000, 2 1,000, 3. I even do it during the games, and I annoy people because I've always talked about having that internal clock that's going on with these quarterbacks, and the really good ones got it. You know, I love Joey B, but Joey B wants to hang in there another second sometimes, and it's costing us on those sacks where, you know, I know our line isn't great as it is for the Bengals, but he's kind of making them look a little bit worse. Joe, you got to get rid of that ball, pimp. I know you're a G at everything else, though, so I just shut up from there. What do you got on Carson Strong, Dave?
He lacks mobility, of course, which sometimes will have him hang in the pocket a little bit too long, force some throws. But he does still sense pressure from his blind side, which is also a good thing. He does have the ability to throw receivers open, like the dude's got a cannon. He'll throw them open on deep throws. But he does make some quick decisions. But also with that, he played in an air raid offense in Nevada. Sometimes he forces he'll force to his primary receiver without making a progression because maybe somebody's coming in on him, and he holds the ball low, like as a setup.
Yeah, I did.
So his
read
release
that.
is a little bit elongated. If he could bring that ball up.
But they said he's got good mechanics other than
he
that.
does.
His footwork.
But there's sometimes where his footwork, where he'll try to throw with his feet too close together instead of resetting his base. But he does more often than not throw from a good base, which allows him to throw people open.
Some people said that they like Pickett's arm, but they wonder that if he has the best pure arm talent, is just far as being in a pocket and throwing the ball.
Watching some video on this guy and reading some stuff about him, if he goes to the right place and he can sit for a while, he's going to develop into a starting quarterback.
I totally
sooner
believe it as
rather
well.
than later.
Wonder where's a good spot for him behind somebody.
Man,
for
who's got a quarterback that's kind of going to the end? You know, another good thing they said, or I saw about Carson Strong, his anticipation throws on end routes.
Yeah, we're really good.
Man, yes.
Mac Jones-ish.
Yeah.
That dude
So
was
I mean,
good
he's
with him last year.
that helps out for especially playing in a mid. What's that called over there? The MWS.
Yeah. A little bit of a lighter league.
Yeah.
It's just, they run an air raid offense. So it's just ball throwing all the time.
Yeah, I get it, and I'm usually hard on them. You know, I used to, like I said, I wasn't big on Allen and some of these smaller level school guys, but I think that's a thing of the past.
You know what?
Trey Lance, all these dudes are.
It just came to me. The Colts, bro. What if the Colts picked him up in like the third or the fourth?
Yeah, that'd be really good behind. Yeah, it'd be really good. Or Philly even. If you didn't want to jump at somebody to replace Hurts now and you wanted to give Hurts another year or two as a chance and maybe draft a guy like that, you got all them picks, so you'll be able to address all the needs you want early on. You can get them late.
Quarterback.
Strong wouldn't be bad, but like you said, I like Mond, and I think he deserves to get a chance there for sure.
Steelers in the third?
Yeah, I think they'd probably go higher than that, but
I don't know, with the way that they are and their
maybe
GM not stepping down, it might be a smart move for them to take him.
Yeah.
Let Mason start for a couple of years.
From what I've been hearing, they said that they're gonna let Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins battle it out.
They've already been saying that. Tomlin's said he in one quote I read, he was aware of Haskins' improvement over this year. So as much as I threw him down, I didn't know much on how he was doing. I heard at first he was kind of pouting and stuff like that, and maybe that's how he found himself in that situation. But it's a good thing that he put his boots on and went to work.
Yes.
You never know. You ain't getting drafted that high without having some things that are pretty impressive.
That's probably a product of environment being in Philly.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, it's a more stable environment than it was when he was in Washington. But his time in Washington, didn't Jay Gruden pretty much basically tell him he never wanted him as his quarterback? Sure. I mean, that kind of hurts, a rookie's confidence and psyche a little bit. You're already in your own head.
Yeah. It's disappointing when stuff like that happens.
It really is.
And you ain't on the same page, and it can wreck a guy.
We all didn't watch Haskins almost every week. Like, he's not a bad quarterback.
He's not.
No, but McLaurin and Paris Campbell running drag routes isn't the same as throwing in the NFL.
No, it's definitely not. But I also think him going to Pittsburgh and being on the practice squad most of the year was a very humbling experience for him. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think what he thought of himself a few years ago, like on where he thought his trajectory was going to go and stuff.
Yeah.
And now where he is now, it's got to be rough. It's the life of an NFLer. Every guy isn't boom right away.
And who's to say he doesn't come out and training camp and beat out Mason Rudolph and becomes the Steelers starting quarterback in 2022.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but going back to you saying Jay Gruden was basically telling Haskins he didn't want him as a quarterback. Like, how does that make you feel in your own head? Like, you told me, like, you guys drafted me, and now you're telling me I'm not supposed to be the quarterback. Like, what am I supposed to do?
It's like you look on Twitter, it's like half the fans have already given up on Justin Fields, and it's like, how?
Yeah.
How? Even in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, I don't get it. Miami, the way they're feeling about Tua earlier in the year.
It's not like he's been playing terrible. I mean,
No.
he's been a middle-of-the-road quarterback, but...
But how do they know that, something isn't going to click in a few... Like, they just expect this to just be...
Right now.
We see it right now. He's the best.
This is
He's our savior. I get it. There are some Joey B's. There are some Mahomes. But every guy isn't that. And are you going to waste 4 or 5 picks over a 12-year instead of maybe just giving a guy 5 to 7? They'd call you what? They'd call you an idiot then? You wasted 5 to 7 instead of only 2 to 3 on this guy. Well, there's some teams that you got decisions to make. Cleveland, other ones like that, where you're trying to figure those things out.
In all honesty, you got Baker Mayfield on a 5th-year option, only making $18 million. That's way less than the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to see what a healthy Baker can do with all the distractions gone, with a healthy football team coming back as well.
At this point now in the NFL...
And in the 3rd year of Stefanski's offense.
At this point in the NFL, you might as well just write out these rookie contracts as you get them.
Exactly.
Take the 5th-year options.
Yes.
If you have to draft a quarterback at some point within there, like, you're saving money on these rookie quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. At this point, if you've got somebody like Lamar who got drafted where he got drafted, has a minimum contract as a rookie, like, why aren't you just taking that 5th-year option? And if he outperforms it, then you just made the best deal you could possibly make. If Baker comes out next year and throws 35 touchdowns and 10 interceptions and takes them to an AFC championship game, like, what? How is that not a great deal?
Exactly.
He just wrote out the 5th-year option on a contract.
And that's on that AFC championship.
But if you go the other direction and he throws 10 touchdowns and 15 picks,
he's gone.
But you still only paid him what you were already going to pay him anyway,
right?
Which is minimal compared to $45 million for a quarterback that you're
Baker is in a position to try to hold out, but there are guys who could be. Like, what if Lamar values himself as that? He has won an MVP. He wants to hold out and says, I want to get paid. I don't want to wait an extra year.
That's where you hurt yourself right there. Is once they've already progressed and outperformed their contract, like, you have to find where your contract lies.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the Ravens not extending Lamar when they had the chance after that 3rd year, after that MVP season, that kind of tells me something, that maybe they don't see Lamar as their franchise quarterback.
Maybe they saw him as a flash in a pan too. That's just crazy because the fans was willing to fight you over that he wasn't that. And I got some that still think he's the best in the league. He's an MVP. You're crazy is what they tell me. And I'm just like, look, man, I understand he's really good, but there's not longevity to that.
No, there really isn't.
It just isn't. We've never seen somebody be able to run around the league for 12 years plus.
No.
5's even lucky. And right now he's on about that. He's had a great run.
And he's already had the injuries this year.
Yeah. He's taking lots of hits too.
I think he's kind of like a LeBron. Like, you're just like, how does this dude keep going? Like, I think he's going to have a few more years left in him still. Some really good ball, but I think then it's probably about it, because then it's going to become to the point where he's going to lose that step and he's going to have to be a pure passer.
He's going to have to cash in after this season, or he's not going to get anything anywhere. He's got to perform. He doesn't even have to outperform his contract. He just has to perform to get them in the playoffs. Somebody will pay him.
That, and you got to think, he's had this time to develop too. He wasn't in rushes. He was so good at running and getting away, and still with the quick reads. He's took these few years, I'm sure, away from football, and he's tried to develop because he knows that's going to come too. So that's why I said that's the big transition of what's going to come up with Lamar, is how he can continue to thrive in the league, and possibly in a whole different way. Vic did it at the end a little bit. He didn't run as much, and he just dialed up passing. So we'll see if Lamar can sharpen up things. I don't think people think Lamar's better passer than Vic. How do you feel about that?
I believe he's more accurate than Vic.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a bigger arm than Vic.
Yeah, that's just
Vic had
cannon.
a cannon.
Yeah, just cannon.
Do I believe Lamar might be smarter than Vic was? Yeah. But Vic also went on record and said he never read a defense till he got to Philly. He just went out there and saw nobody was open and took off.
Yeah.
Lamar's still making reads. It's not like he's an inaccurate passer. He has legs. he has the ability to be a pocket passer, but when you can run like that, why are you just going to sit in the pocket?
Well, my thing is I think even though he is accurate, he can throw the ball when need be. I think he just has it in his head that he's a better runner than he is a passer at times. And he would rather try to run for the first down than wait. Then it just extend the pocket.
I know, but that can become a crutch then when you can't run no more and you go to try to run in a few years.
And that's what I'm saying.
You gotta hope that he's smart enough to realize that he's losing the step and become that pocket passer.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what he should be doing these few years. If he's
it's not like
then he's
Ben
going
was
to
the
be
fastest guy
No.
ever, but he extended plays.
That's
He's
all,
a big
and
dude.
that's what Lamar needs to work on. Just move out a little bit to the right, extend the
He
play
does,
a little
though.
bit.
He does.
But
He
try
still
not to
does. He'll be
always
able
do
to
it.
extend plays. I'm not talking about that. I think he'll still be able to do that. I just don't know if he'll be able to dip like that at the level he wants or thinks that he
No.
that he could.
So
And
an 80%
some people-
speed Lamar Jackson is still faster than
that's
100%.
that's kind of what I'm saying already.
mean,
but
yeah,
that's why I
it's
think he
very
can still
true.
be effective. But at the same time, you're still going to have to rely on other things eventually. And that's why I said I think in a few years that's when it's gonna start dialing back to 80 and then 70 and then 60 over the next 5 years.
But you
4
still got
years.
him trying to take hits or trying to make people miss. Like at some point, he's just going to have to realize that some of those hits and unnecessary cuts are just going to have to be slides.
Lamar's exact opposite as far as when we're talking about age of these other guys. If you're looking for pocket passers, I don't mind the older, smarter guys because they might be able to play longer. If I'm looking for a guy that can run, no offense to Willis and other guys, I want guys like Lamar that I can get that are 20, 21-year-olds when I get them in because then their legs are going to be fresher, longer, versus getting a 23-year-old guy.
Right.
You know, that's
Already been
3 more.
running.
Yeah, that's already been running more years and taking more hits and all this. I don't know. The younger, the better, because the legs go first. So the younger you can get that QB, if he's dynamic with his legs, the better. What about the NFL playoff predictions, guys? Cap it off with this. Last week I was 0-4. Haha. Yeah.
Hey, I called the crap out of that Bills Kansas City game.
I can't remember what you even.
I called for the Chiefs and I said it was going to be a shootout, even though they both had top 10 defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 1 for 4
How was you 1 for 4?
because I had picked the Bengals. Why?
There's 5 games last week.
Or 1 for 3. Sorry, I meant 1 out of 4.
Yeah.
1 out of 4.
Okay, I got you.
Just came out wrong.
I got you. I just had to play with it. Cincy and KC.
I have no clue. Because they just played, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And since he got away with one at the end,
Yeah.
this is the playoffs. It is Pat Mahomes. I think I'm just going to keep riding the Mahomes train on this one because it hasn't done me wrong yet. And he played like a man possessed last week.
Yep.
He willed that team to win that game.
Yeah.
As much as Josh Allen tried to stop him from winning that game.
I'm
gonna go KC.
I had 30-28 late field goal by KC. They're just too much at home. It don't matter. You can play good again even if you're Bengals. Like I think they will. I think they'll rise up. I think they'll play good enough to be in a game. I just think KC's always going to make another play. You can't beat them twice in the time of a matter of a few weeks. That's tough to ask anybody to beat Kansas City.
Before he makes his pick, I saw a meme on Twitter.
Yeah.
It said Joe Burrow said that the SEC makes more noise than any of these NFL stadiums. And Kansas City Stadium lit up and it said challenge accepted.
Yeah, but that was from way back in the day. That had nothing to do with Kansas City. That was a different quote. They're taken out of context.
It is, but Kansas City's
fans
loud.
can have your little bulletin board material. I get it. You know what I mean? It's not going to matter. The Bengals, they practiced all week with stadium noise. You know,
all NFL teams do that.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, the Bills. Where was that at last week? Was that in?
It was in Kansas City.
See, so the Bills did pretty good against that. Let's see if Burrow can ball out like Allen and make some things happen.
Yeah,
Can these receivers get open, and
that's going to be the key.
That's tough to do against that noise. They're definitely a factor, but I'm like when I see those things, I'm just like,
I don't think crowd noise is as much of a factor as it used to be.
Mm-hmm. It is really. Though. It is. I think it's more so college than NFL.
Yeah, definitely.
Some of them college ones, man. You get over there, Michigan, Penn State, Neyland down there, Tennessee. I mean, they're over 100,000, man.
Yeah, but college is
NFL's like
count a lot
65 or something is a lot in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, not 100, and that's it's 40 more thousand yelling people.
Yeah.
Who did you pick?
As much as I want to pick the Bengals, it's Mahomes. It's in Kansas City. I mean, and after what Mahomes did in 13 seconds last week. No, sorry. Got to go with the Chiefs on this one.
It's going to be like 17-14.
And you know, it could be, but
field goal.
But hey, you know what? I did want to mention something about this Bengals-Chiefs game. You know, this is the 4th straight year Kansas City's held the AFC Championship. No other team has done that.
Yeah. Andy Reid's done it twice.
Yes.
He went 4 in a row with the Eagles, now 4 in a row.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude's...
There's your Hall of Fame coach right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no offense to Peyton, I'm saying, like, that's a guarantee when you say Andy Reid. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. All right, the last one, San Fran and the LA Rams. Whew.
You know, I was in a division with Stafford for 12 years of his career. And it's not like they did great over there. But I rode Stafford last week. I'm going to ride him again this week.
Yeah. I'm going to say whoever doesn't throw the pick six. Garoppolo versus Stafford. Whoever doesn't throw the pick six, just run the ball if you're both teams. But you know the Rams aren't going to. They want to throw the ball. You know,
force one to OBJ and it's going to get picked.
Yeah, that'd make Jeremy happy.
You know this game's going to just come down to if they can cover Cooper Kupp, because that guy gets open, and I don't even see how he gets open sometimes. Like, he just appears wide open.
Okay, but, you know, the Rams have Cooper Kupp, but the Niners are going to match him with Deebo Samuel.
I think that Rams defense is better than, no offense,
the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I almost forgot he was sitting here.
Yeah. I don't know. I put on here, can San Fran win another? They've owned the Rams recently, like 4 or 5, 6 in a row, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, when's the luck going to run out? I mean, is there really home field? I know a lot of San Fran fans that are going to buy tickets and be there in LA. So I don't know.
LA just kind of feels like one of those team of destiny situations.
Yeah.
With Stafford not ever winning a playoff game until this year.
I'm gonna go with the run game.
Last week against Tom Brady, that's just how it feels.
I'm gonna go with the run game and a clean game from Jimmy G. The upset 24-20. San Fran goes Super Bowl. That's where I went.
I picked the Rams, but it's got to be low scoring for San Fran to win. I don't think San Fran can keep.
I think San Fran can run the ball, and they don't have to put Jimmy G in the bad spot necessarily, but only a few times, and Jimmy's just got to check himself on them. I think Stafford, they are pass happy over there, and all it's going to take is for him to have a few bad series, and that game could already pull itself away early on.
That first quarter is going to set the tone.
Wouldn't surprise me if Niners got up early and Rams made a late comeback and won, but I don't know. I just got a gut feeling about the Niners. Shanahan, McVay, man, that's as good as it gets right now.
Yeah, I got the Niners as well in this one.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd go 2-1 on that because I know Taylor was going to pick the Niners.
I mean, yeah, I knew he was. I mean, I just feel.
You want to make a pick on this?
Look, Kyle Shanahan versus his assistants is really, really good because he's beat Matt LaFleur every time in the postseason. Matt LaFleur only has one win, and we know Matt LaFleur had Aaron Rodgers and got beat. But I'm going with Shanahan and the Niners. I think, like you said, they own the Rams here lately, and I think the Rams' Cinderella season is about to come to an end.
He said Cinderella season. That was the goal. As soon as they got Stafford, that was the goal. It was Super Bowl or bust.
It was, and now we get the Niners-Chiefs rematch in the Super Bowl that we had 3 years ago.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Chiefs-Niners.
Yeah, and this time the
rematch
Niners
now.
Yeah,
that's cool, and it's Mahomes and Gropp part 2.
Yes,
that's kind of cool. And if Gropp doesn't go next year, that would be a sweet way to end it. Still, as 2 of those.
We just looked up Cooper Kupp's game-by-game stats.
Oh, it's insane.
He's only got one. There are 2 games where he was held under like 90 yards.
Mm-hmm. Thomas will be back. We know Barker don't think much of him, even though he's a Michigan boy that ended up on the Niners. But I think he'll be back, and I think it'll be a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
I think they could use it. All right, guys.
Bosa coming back was huge for them last week.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on, man. He's like the best edge rusher in the whole playoffs. Yeah. I mean, I know Aaron Donald's a bitch in the middle, but I mean, off the edge.
Yeah.
Bosa's the real deal. You're not getting any better than that, period.
No.
All right, guys. There's another episode of Midwest Mouthful. Thanks for watching.
See you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.